So this project is taking a dead branch that I found from a hybrid elm and going to use it to make 3 pens for 3 special people as a present. These are the segments for the pens that I've cut. I won't bore you with that. I just cut them about a 1/4 inch longer than the tubes that we're putting in. But look at the cool grain and how it's darker in the middle, and I'm so excited. I made 1 extra just in case the oops happens during the process, and I still have the same piece of wood here that I'm going to save just in case I need to go back to it. Now I'm going to take the Penn, they call it the Penn drill chuck, and this is just a traditional drill chuck and a base. The traditional drill chuck is going to go in the end that stays still, and the Penn chuck is going to go on the motor, and that's the part that's going to spin, and I will drill it. I will be using a 7mm drill bit. This is the 7mm drill bit. I'm going to run it at slower RPMs and just kind of gradually going through, otherwise it hones it out a little too much. Just kind of guide it in, take it a little at a time. You see why I'm excited. Look at how cool that's going to be, and that's the center of the pen. So I'm going to do that for all of them plus the extra segments. Now I have the blanks ready to put the tubes in and the 1 extra in case there's an oops piece. I've already taken the tubes and scuffed them up a bit with sandpaper so that the glue sticks. Here's Bob Smith's Industries. It is gap filling glue. It's a medium strength. It's always worked for me. I found it works best if I let it sit like these. I don't want it to break apart, so I'm going to let it sit all night. And then there's the Dean rule of gloves. If you wear plastic gloves, you won't get glue on them, but if you try it without, you will get glue on your fingers. It's just the way it works for me. I'm looking at the end that this is the last to be drilled, so it's a little smoother. Sometimes that first part where it gets drilled in gets honed out a little bit, and then we just glue it liberally, and we're going to do this 7 times. Spin it as it goes in. I have a piece of wood that I tap it down onto, let it set a little bit, check the back side, and we're good. So now the glue is dried, and you can look in here and see where the tube is, and it looks like there's at least 1/8 of an inch that needs to be drilled out a bit, and this is even more. And this is a 7mm drill bit. It's not a bit, if you will, but a tube. But then this hones it out so I can bring it right down to the tube. Next I'm going to take, I just have this corner vise that I'm going to vise and secure the piece that has to be honed out and get it snug, and then go ahead in. There it is. Then I do the same to the other sides. Now I'm going to take the mandrel and the bushings, I'm going to my kit just to make sure I have the right, going to my kit, double checking the bushings. Bushing is PKM bush 3, PKM bush 3, so we're set. Take the mandrel out. I would assemble this, sometimes I assemble it here, sometimes I assemble it on the lathe. I'm going to do this right here, so I'm going to take 2 spacers. Oh, I already have a spacer on here. 1 spacer, 2 spacers, and the bushing, so it's 3 total. Then the first one, and then a spacer in between, a bushing, and then the top, and then 2 more. And now I'm ready to put it on the lathe and start the fun. Now I take it and put it in the lathe. A little debris in there. Stick it in the headstock, if you will. Give it a little snug tap, and then complete the mandrel to secure and slide the motor in. Secure the brace, and then I give it a couple turns to make it tight so that it grips on the bushings, and then tighten it up here. And we're ready to go. I'm going to run it at 800 to 900 RPMs. I'm going to start with a rounded scraper and then finish with design it with a carbide end. The support is in place, slightly below the mandrel. Do a test to make sure it's turning, and we're ready to go. I'm going on a previous pen that I made that I'm trying to replicate, taking the calipers to get the diameter roughly the same and consistent. And we're getting close already. Just need to go a little bit further. That I like to add is a little groove. I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch just beyond the hump here. Now the sanding. Starting out with 150 grit, slowing the RPMs down and smoothing it off. Change directions a bit. And finish with 600 grit. This one I put just a little bit of pressure on, not too much. And we're ready to polish. And the exciting part, the polish. Doing some Mylans, high speed polish. Going to turn the RPMs all the way up, shake it really well, and put it on an old cloth that I have. And here we go. For a couple minutes, and I think it's going to look good. Here's the kit, the tip, the ink insert holder, the center spacer, the clip, and to secure the tip on top. A lot of little bags. I like to lay all the pieces out together so they're ready to go. I start with the top, the point, if you will, snug it in. I hold it from the top, keeping it lined up so it goes on straight. Make it snug, not overdoing it. So there's the point. Just inspect to make sure it's okay. Next, I put the ink insert area. I'm going to go up to this mark right there, and I might go a little beyond so that the ballpoint portion sticks out far enough to write decently. There it is. This is an easy part. The little spacer goes on, and then the clip, point it down so the clip is going against the softer end. This one can be a little tricky. It wants to move around a little bit. Again, make sure it's snug. Look at what you want for a design or what you want to expose. There, look at that. And finally, the pen has a little plastic end to it. Insert, spin, and then put it together. Look at that. I'm impressed. It's ready to be engraved. The Wayne Lux laser engraver on Amazon. Very simple, very basic. Works really well for this. Ready for the first brand on the first pen. I did the test for the font and the size on my Oops piece, and it looks like we're ready to go.